I'm Miss Royster. I'm one of the LCDC counselors here at Lone Star, and I work federal. So I just want to first of all thank you guys for being here, because this is Saturday. You could have been anywhere else on a Saturday, I'm sure, but you decided to come here. I want to thank my clients as well that's in here. If I have taught you at any point in time, I call you my client, pretty much, whether you're on my caseload or not, because I look at treatment here as a family dynamic. I look at the people here as family, and that helps me to be able to connect with you guys without keeping it so therapeutic. We know that as counselors, you have to have a certain degree. You have to have certain experience. I get that. But when I come here and I teach, I just need permission to be me, to be real. Because I think that I prefer connecting with you guys based on my heart versus just my words, all right? I'm gonna talk on briefly the family dynamics when it comes to substance abuse. There's a reason why we have a family meeting. There's a reason why we tell you you can bring a family member, because a lot of times when it comes to recovery, your family or your friends may not totally understand what you're going through. They may look at it as you use drugs because you want to use drugs. You're gonna always be a drug head. You're not gonna change. Just whatever negative stigma, and it's not because they don't love you, it's because they sometimes are tired. They're tired of going through the same thing over and over. They're tired of the broken promises. I'm gonna get it right. I grew up in South Central LA, and my stepmother, she has been with my father before I was even walking. I was in a baby carrier when she met my father, but she smoked crack for 13 years. 13 years. It was difficult. Sometimes we would have family gatherings for Christmas or Thanksgiving, and nobody knew where she was. You know, people asking my dad, well, her nickname was Medea. She was Medea before Tyler Perry. They would say, where's Medea? Nobody knew where Medea was. She may have been gone for 2 or 3 days because she was smoking. Well, my dad didn't understand that. All he knew is he was sitting up at night wondering where his wife was. Wondering where his wife was, not knowing what could happen to her. And when people are in their addiction, sometimes they're not going to answer the phone when you call. And I don't even know if cell phones were really popular back then. But the point is, people don't always understand addiction. They don't understand that it hijacks the brain. A lot of people think addiction is just alcohol and drugs. Do you guys think addiction is just alcohol and drugs? No. To be totally honest with you, a lot of people have some sort of addiction. It could be gambling, it could be alcohol, it could be drugs, it could be sex, it could be shopping. Some people spend money on stuff that they know they cannot afford. But addiction comes in many ways. What about the person that's diabetic and the doctor says you gotta cut back on the sugar, your A1C is too high, but you over there making a life decision with that box of Oreos? Why? Because you may be addicted to sugar. Sugar increases the pleasure hormones in your brain. So when you get a piece of sugar or a carb, sometimes it makes you feel good. And that is why with little kids, you ever seen little kids, they'll pretty much get happy when you give them a piece of candy or the ice cream truck come by. The ice cream truck, you hear that music, kids are just running all through the neighborhood trying to get to that truck. Why? Because they know it's something good on that truck. They know that ice cream has sugar in it, and that sugar makes them feel good. You ever seen people get a piece of candy and they start dancing? They just start humming, you know what I'm saying? You put that candy, no music, but it just feels good. It's the sugar. So people are not just addicted to alcohol and drugs. There are a lot of addictions out there. And when we look at it that way, we can have a little more empathy and say, I'm no better than you are. The only reason why you went to jail or you may be in a certain situation is because maybe you may have gotten caught a little more. Or maybe you didn't stop doing what you're doing. But we always have that inner being inside of us that says, don't go there, don't make that trip, don't do that drop off. It ain't gonna turn out how you expect. But sometimes we override that and say we're gonna do it anyway. And insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Saying to yourself, you know, you got somebody right now that has done 10 years, get out of jail, may have sold drugs, and they're gonna convince themselves of how they can do it again, but don't get caught this time. See, what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna take that Highway 141, I'm gonna take 35. I got 2 people with me, I got 2 gorillas in the trunk in case the police pull up. You got the whole plan. Doing the same thing over and over, but you think it's gonna be different this time, okay? That may be an addiction to money. It could be a whole lot of things. So I just like to try to find that common ground and help people to understand when somebody's in addiction. I think it's important to have a higher power. A higher power just means something bigger than you, something higher than you that grounds you and brings you back. Sometimes you can't reach a person by going here. You got to go here and come back down, because you've already told them several times, if you don't get it together, I'm leaving. I'm tired. But maybe something just hasn't clicked. And sometimes we enable a person that is in addiction, and instead of them learning and getting what they're supposed to get, we want to step in the middle because we love them and we don't want to see them get hurt. An example of that is when my sons were younger, we went out to eat, and my baby son, he acted up. Like, he clowned. He knew what he was doing. And when we got to the car, I said, when we get home, I'm gonna deal with you. I don't know about y'all, but when a mama say, when we get home, I'm gonna deal with you, like something just start hurting already. You just know something about to happen. You get to the house, and my son, my oldest son said, Mom, please don't whip him. I said, no. He got this coming. He know he was wrong. I got the belt, got ready to swing, and my son caught my arm and did just like this. He said, don't hit my brother, hit me instead. I was like, wow, that was powerful. Like, how you gonna whoop this boy after his older brother then said, don't even hit him, hit me. I'll take the licks for him. But isn't that what we do when people are in addiction and we don't want to let them learn? Mm-hmm. We cripple them by grabbing the belt. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the belt may be what they need to change, because change comes in one of 2 ways, by force or by choice. Either you're gonna get it and you're gonna make a decision, I gotta do something different, or it's gonna have to get so bad that it's almost like a Verizon Wireless commercial. Can you hear me now? Mm-hmm. You lost that relationship, you lost your car, you about to get put out of that apartment. Can you hear me now? That's how life gets sometimes. But what people don't know is that's the secret to change. I don't know if y'all ever been to a club, or is it just me that's ever been to a club? But when you go to the club, don't they have security? And the security never look weak. Like they boom, bang. You know what I'm saying? They look strong. Like, you try me, it's going down. Can I just be regular, or do I have to keep the badge on right now? Y'all just be regular? Okay. But you got to go through that bouncer if you decide you want to act up. You got to go through that security, because that club is paying security to keep certain things out. That's how change is. Oh, you say you want to change. You have to go through security first. That's going to be through choice or by force. So when negative things happen and people try to change, they want to give up. That's not the time to give up. That's the time to sit back, recalibrate that brain. Remember, we got 60,000 thoughts a day, and say, why is this happening? Okay? Somebody mentioned grief of death. I totally get it, because I lost my mom as well. And my mom died 2 days before my birthday. That means every year during my birthday, I got to remember, okay, let's get through her death first, and then I can celebrate my life. One of my best friends, I watched her in ICU. August 31st. September 1st, they said she was gone. That was my birthday. Another best friend I had, this was during COVID. We sending each other text messages back and forth. All of a sudden, she's not responding to me. Found out she died from COVID, September 2nd. So that's my mom, my best friend, And then the other best friend, September 2nd. So every time my birthday comes, I have a choice. Either I'm gonna allow myself to be stressed, or I'm gonna say, I don't have the power to determine when somebody's gonna be born, and I don't have the power to determine when they're gonna die. I have no control over that. So when I can relinquish that control, sometimes we want that control. I understand what will be, will be. And I have to go through a level of acceptance, because there is a cycle with grief. There is a wheel. If you look online and you Google it, that you go through, whether that's the shock, the anger, the fear, then the acceptance. I had to get to a point where I said, I have to be in acceptance. When I buy milk, when you guys get milk, does it ever have an expiration date on it? Yeah. If it don't have an expiration date, don't drink it, okay? All right. When it has that expiration date, say the expiration date is the 15th, should you try to drink it on the 25th? No. Now you can do whatever you want to do. By that time it might look like buttermilk. But the point is, when it tells you there is a certain day that it will expire, it's gonna expire. And if I keep trying to drink it, it may make me sick. That's how I look at death sometimes. I have a time to be here, and I have a time to leave. And when that time comes, nothing's gonna change that. Right now, I'm in the dash. If I had a tombstone made with my birthday, the dash, and then when I leave, I'm in the dash right now. Nothing is going to change that, no matter how much you cry. When people die, I hear people mourning. I wanna go, why, take me. And I'm thinking, do you really wanna go? You ready? You really ready? No, the person that's gone, they're not feeling pain. They don't take medicine no more. They're not hurt no more. It's really about us. It's about the living. I'm just being honest. It's about us. It's not really about them. We say it is, but I had to tell myself, when a person's time comes, it is their time, and I'm not gonna change that. I have to make peace with it. So hopefully that may help somebody in here. With the family dynamics, the first thing was enabling, and I just talked about that. Family members may unintentionally support the continuance of an addict's substance abuse problem. This can include protecting the addict from consequences, minimizing the problem, or lying about the addiction. Sometimes when people are battling with addiction, we want to cover for them. We want to console them. This person can't keep a job, can't maintain a place to live, so we just want to let them keep staying with us. Sometimes people don't want help, they want a handout. The difference is, if I want help, I'm going to do what I need to do to change that behavior so it will never happen again. But if I just want a handout, it's like, man, I asked you for $20. I don't need you questioning me about when I got paid. Just give me the $20. And then next week, I need $20 more. That's enabling a person if you keep doing that and nothing has changed, okay? So we have to get to a position sometimes where we stop grabbing the belt. Hopefully you will remember that analogy. Healthy roles. Family members can play healthy roles by holding the addict accountable, creating rewards for positive choices, and attending support groups together. So there is a difference between saying you didn't do this right versus you didn't do this right, but I'm gonna help you to do it right. We in this together. You need to show that support and not make the person feel that they're being judged, but hold them accountable. Look, I'm not gonna keep going down this road. We've been doing this for 10 years. You still coming here high every Friday, your check gone, we losing house after house after house. I'm done, if that's what it takes. I'm not telling nobody to go pack their bags, and I don't want nobody to leave and say, I told him to burn off. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, when you get tired, you know when you're tired. And we've talked about this, and nothing has changed, stop grabbing the belt. That's what I'm saying, okay? All right. And I don't want nobody looking at each other funny. I'm just putting the word out there, okay? I don't want nobody arguing when they go home. Everybody love each other, okay? All right. Healthy home environment. Family members can create a healthy home environment by making sure the family is safe and that there is a healthy communication. The best place to me to be able to communicate with the family where everybody goes eventually, that's the table. everybody's gonna eat eventually. So if I can catch you during the time that we're eating and we talk about what's going on, it can help. On Sunday, sometime we'll have Sunday dinner. I may invite my daughter and my grandbabies. Then we cook at the house. We all come together. Whomever else is gonna come there, I'm gonna turn on my little station with, I call it it's called Black Barbecue Music or something like that. But anyway, it's cookout music. Old school, Isley Brothers, Mays, whatever works for whoever. And we sit there. In my process group, we have cards that I will pass out, and there's a question on there for them to process. What if you played a game with your family that allowed them to be able to get their feelings out, to allow them to talk? Because in this day and age, sometimes we antisocial. We could be in the next room and text and talk about, what we gonna eat for dinner? Well, I gotta go pick up a chicken. You in the next room, bro, just go over. You in the next room, just go on over there. But we've become antisocial because we have technology. My daddy, 84 years old, and he learned how to text, and I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. Because he don't even call me half the time. I'm calling him, trying to see, Dad, what you doing down there? I can't catch up with you. It's so hard. I have to call cousins and stuff, because he's in Compton right now, and I have to call cousins. Hey, can y'all find my dad and tell him to call me? Like, you 84 years old, I shouldn't have to look for you. But he feel like, if I sent you a text and told you I'm good, you good, but you might be tied up in the closet somewhere. I don't know where you are. I need to hear your voice. So we need to learn to be more family and communicate with each other, okay? All right. Family counseling. Family counseling or therapy services can help everyone in the family navigate the changing dynamics of relationships. Here are some ways family members can support a loved one. Educate yourself. Do what you can to learn about what addiction is. What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that entail? I don't care if you have to go on YouTube and learn about addiction. Learn about Al-Anon. How can you help the family? All right? Ask what they need. Let your loved ones choose how involved you are in their recovery and not be judgmental. We already know they may be going through something. We already know they may battle with finances. We already know it may be an issue with their job. They don't need us to continue to tell them what they're not doing and who they aren't. Sometimes it's something that they're battling with internally, and they need to get that out that you may not even know about. Okay? So, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because it's time for you guys to eat. I teach process Monday and Wednesday night. Most of you guys already know me, but I just want to put that plug out there, all right? I'm going to turn it back over to MJ.